Hello, my name is Kylie Donaldson. Today I'm going to be quickly talking about De Bono's six thinking hats. So, Dr. Edward De Bono was known for his lateral thinking. He's the one that sort of created it. And he's also very well known for several of his books that he's written. One of them is Over the Six Thinking Hats, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, the six thinking hats technique is basically just a simple thinking process that can be used by schools or other similar organizations. And it really is to help the staff sort of explore, create, and develop and see if they want to implement a certain idea. One good thing about it is it allows you to see the idea through six different point of views. So it really helps to limit the amount of fighting over opposing views. And again, it allows the principal or whoever is in charge to really see the idea from six different ways. So each hat does represent something else. So the whole sort of thing is you wear a different hat and you're looking at the idea through a different perspective. So the white hat is basically just facts. You look at it and you only focus on the facts. The black hat is for sort of the negatives. What are the negatives, or maybe what could go wrong if you were to implement this change? The green hat is for creativity. So, what sort of creative things could happen if you were to implement this idea? The red hat is for intuition and feelings. So, you could ask the staff, how do you feel about implementing this change? Sort of, what is your gut telling you when we talk about this? The yellow hat has to do with positivity. So, what are the positives that go along with this change? And then the blue hat is the overall managing of the thinking process. If you are going to implement this, you are going to want to do it in the initial stages of change. From what I read, it really does go hand in hand with sort of brainstorming. If you're going to do it, you do want to do it at the very beginning and not in the middle or the end. So if you are going to do it, here are the steps that I would follow. First, and I'm looking at this through a principal's point of view for a school. So first, you would need to gather the staff. Second, you would need to discuss what sort of proposed change are we going to be talking about. Third, you would need to go through the thinking hats. Now, there's two different ways that I read that you can do this. First, you can do it through small groups. So you can have your staff break them up into six different small groups, and then you're going to assign each small group a different hat color. So, for example, you five girls are going to be the yellow hat. You're only going to focus on the positives. Or you can do it the other way where it's just whole group. So instead of having small groups each focus on a hat, you could do it a whole group where together you each go through the hat color and sort of document that and then come back together and think about it all together as a whole group. So once you've gone through all the hats, either small groups or whole groups, whichever you decide, then you need to sort of reflect on your thinking on all the six different thinking ways that you did. And then lastly, step five, the principal or whoever's in charge needs to decide, is that something that they want to continue to implement, or is it maybe not the correct fit? So last week when we did our data assignment, I did it on my elementary school and on if they should switch to team teaching. So here's maybe a very shortened example of what maybe my school would do. So if you remember, the white is the facts. So if we were just looking at team teaching, we just had the white hat on, what would the facts? Well, some facts for team teaching is that it needs collaboration to be successful, and the teachers need to have some sort of common end goal. Those are facts. Maybe moving on to the red hat, the principal could ask your staff, how do you feel about switching to team teaching? Well, they could say, we feel like it's a good idea, but we're unsure if it will be successful. And obviously, what this group might feel about it is going to be different than what this group will feel about it. When you put on the yellow hat, what sort of benefits might come if you do switch to team teaching? Well, the teachers now have a shared workload. There's more opportunity for differentiation between the students. And obviously, there are several more, but for time's sake, I'm just trying to do one or two for each. For green, again, this one's sort of the creativity. So if we did switch to team teaching, what could that do for our school? Well, it could maybe help improve the third grade's math scores, or it might not. That's something we kind of have to figure out. For the blue, you look at it from sort of a planning perspective. So what would the schedule look like if we did switch to team teaching? Would it affect sped minutes? Would it do this? Would it do this? You have to sort of look at it through that perspective. And then lastly, the black hat. This is sort of the negatives. What are the negatives that are associated with team teaching? Well, some students might be intimidated by having 2 or 3 teachers instead of just having one. Or the teachers might have a lack of compatibility. So maybe those 2 team teachers don't really work out good together, and it might negatively impact the scores instead of being a good thing. So overall, that is the 6 hat theory. Thank you.